Hari Om. Let's start with the prayer. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunavayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakhat Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mamadeva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are doing the Panchadashi, 6th chapter of Vidyaranya Swami, and we are now discussing the different opinions about the Atma, and Atma is self, and some say it is of the nature of unconscious entity, others say it is conscious entity, and some say it is both conscious and unconscious entities, and some say it is of the size of very, very small, almost like 1/100th. If you cut the head, the cross section of the hair, 100 divisions of that, and further another 100 divisions of that is the size of Atma. So Anu means it is a Anoraniyam. It is smaller than the smallest. So they use that and forget, of course, the next statement, Mahado Mahayam. So it's bigger than the biggest also. That's possible. It's not a contradiction. It means it's all pervading. But the statement they use that is it is Sukshmam. So many Acharyas subscribe to that very smallest one, including, I said, by the Visishtadvaitins of Ramanacharya and all that. In the Dvaita, if I remember correctly, so Atma is different sized, like a different pot sizes, and when Atma realization reach Vaikuntha means each pot is full, that's what the Ananda you get. And why some are bigger pots and one are smaller pots, don't ask the question, it is so. And that is what the nature of each Atma is. So it's like a pot size as per the Dvaita philosophy. And some say it is an inert, all-pervading, and there are criticisms in terms of at the same time it acquires consciousness. So how can inert things become conscious entity? That's what even material scientists talk about. The advanced science is they are trying suddenly the consciousness arose when under suitable conditions when the matter accumulated properly. So that's how they are investigating the consciousness, how the brain becomes a conscious entity under certain circumstances. But here the Vedanta says it is of the nature of its own. Consciousness is the essential nature of Brahman, because Brahman is defined in the scriptures as Prajnanam Brahma. Consciousness is Brahman, and I keep saying that because the way the scripture defines it is necessary and sufficient also, because they use a reverse statement. They don't say Brahman is conscious entity. It says consciousness is Brahman, which is implies that it is a necessary and sufficient condition for Brahman. So if there is a consciousness, it has to be Brahman. So Atma is a conscious entity, it has to be Brahman, which means infinite. So here the Vidyaranya providing different opinions of different, and each one quoting the scriptures that suits their doctrine. So selective quoting of the scriptures and to justify their positions. And now, after defining various methods, various opinions of that, now he is going to doing about Ishvara also, and started with the opinion of the yoga. Yoga means the Patanjali, how they define who is Ishvara. So we are talking about sloka 1 or 2 that we covered. Chit sannidhau pravuttayam praguter hiniyamakam Ishvaram bruvate yogaha sajivebhyah parah srutah. Together. Chit sannidhau pravuttayam praguter hiniyamakam ishwaram bruvate yogaha sajivebhyah parasrutaha. So he says yogaha bruvate. So yogi, the yoga system of philosophy called Nyaya Vaiseshikas, and then the Sankhya and Yoga, these two together go, and the yoga people, bruvate, they say Ishwaram. Ishvara is what? Chit sannidhau pravuttayam. So Chit sannidho, is near consciousness, and pravuttayam, Prakriti functions. So in the presence of the conscious entity Ishvara, Prakriti functions. That's how they define. So who is Ishvara? Who makes the Prakriti to function. So therefore, Ishvara Chit sannidho pravuttayam Prakrutehi. So here Niyamakam. So see, it is controlled by Ishvara. So who is Ishvara? Who controls the Prakriti? What does Prakriti do? Prakriti creates. So it is under the closed Chit Sannidha, means he is a conscious entity. So that controls not only Prakriti, even Jivebhyaha also. Paraha. Bubu says though, Paraha Srutaha. So the Shruti, in fact, says, so they are justifying using the Prakriti using the scripture as a means to justify that who is Ishvara is the one who controls the Prakriti. What does Prakriti do? Whole creation. So Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vijunadi Ubhavapi. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. Prakriti and Purusha are from the beginning, is a beginningless. They are there. And what is Prakriti do? About what Prakriti does? So Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyati Sacharacharam. Under my guidance, the Prakriti is projecting the whole universe. So that's what essentially yoga philosophy also subscribes. We will do now 103. Pradhanakshetrajnapatihi Gunesha iti srutihi Aranyake sambramena Antaryamupapaditaha. So he antaryami upapaditaha. So pradhana kshetrajnapatihi. So Ishvara is the Lord of Prakriti and also for Jivas also. So Patihi is the Lord of the Kshetram, the Pradhana Kshetram, and Gunesha itihi srutihi, and also is the Lord of the Prakriti which has a gunas. Prakriti itself is gunatmikam, sattva rajas tamo gunam, and is the Lord of, therefore is the Lord of the gunas also. And itihi srutihi, that's what the Shruti says also. So he is using the Shruti statement to justify his definition of Ishvara. Who is the Ishvara? So every scripture says Ishvara. So so first definition of Ishvara is Jagatkarta Ishvaraha, who created the whole universe. So that is accepted by all religions. So he is the one who created the whole universe. And why did he create? How did he create? And all that, he took 7 days for creation according to Bible and all that, or 3 days, I don't know how many days. So he didn't create immediately, whereas the Hindu gods create immediately, instantaneously also. So therefore, how did he create, etc. is only discussed. But the question is, where did he get material to create? That was not asked and also answered except in Vedanta. It says in Vedanta, says if there is a material, where did he get the material? So you cannot go outside and get a material from somewhere, then we'll ask who created that material. So material also should come from him. So in the Mundakopanishad, there is a first chapter defines that it is yathas yathornana visrujate gunnate cha, just as the spider puts forth the whole net. So spider creates the net, so it has the intelligence how to create the net, and where is the material coming from? It didn't go out get material from the drugstores, or not from the stores, but it came from its own, and it can withdraw that also. So that's why, just as yathornana visrujate grunhati, so it also absorbs, produces, also can absorb also. So in the same way, Ishvara creates from his own self. He himself became many. Raichara bhausyam praja eti. So where did he get material? From him only. So he is a Jagatkarta, is the first definition of Ishvara. If you ask where did he get material? Second definition is provided. Jagat Karanam Ishvaraha. Karanam means material cause also. Not only the intelligent cause, but the material cause also. That means the material also himself is also. So where do you see Lord? Everywhere. Whatever material is you see is nothing but Lord only. It came from him. So whatever the material people consider as a Prakriti, which is inert, different from the consciousness. That is the theory of the yogas also here. And who says that the Lord is a Prakriti Pradhana Kshetram, is the Lord of the Prakriti and Jivas? Who says? This is Aranyake Sambramena. So Aranyake Asambramena. So in the Aranyaka, it says, in the Aranyaka means Bruhadaranyaka Upanishad, and he is that Ishvara is while creating. So what happens to him? Asambramena. So without having any delusion himself, so he is not deluded. So Ishvara is not deluded, and he doesn't have any problem, and he is the controller of the Prakriti also. So that is the definition of Ishvara. So you cannot put the Lord as ignorant. So this is one of the criticisms of Ramanuja. If ignorance is the cause, then who has the ignorance? What is the locus of ignorance? And the locus of ignorance, it says either Atma, but if you say Atma is same as Brahman, so locus of ignorance is Brahman. So how can Brahman become ignorant? How can Ishvara become ignorant? That's not what Advaita Vedanta says though, but what they use that as a means to criticize Advaita Vedanta. So Advaita Vedanta say Brahman is ignorant. But where is the locus? Locus cannot be other than Brahman also. Why? It's not a contradiction, because Brahman means infinite, so there cannot be anything other than infinite. So the ignorance is also locused on Brahman, but Brahman is not ignorant. So both are valid statements. From Brahman point, there is no ignorance even, and there is no creation even to talk about. Creation comes only at the transaction level, Vyavaharika Satyam. From Paramarthika Satyam, only Brahman alone is. No jivas, no jnani, no ajnanam, no knowledge, no bondage, no moksha, no liberation also. All at the transaction level. From Brahman point, Ekameva Advitiyam. It is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Anantam means infinite, and infinite there cannot be any parts also. So from the Advaitic point, the ontological status of Brahman is different from Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, including Ajnanam also. So it has to be here. Asambramena is not deluded. So Ishvara doesn't have any delusion. He Antaryami. So he is Antaryami, he is pervading everywhere, being an inner controller, and Upaditaha. This is what being referred to in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, and those who want to know, it's in the 3rd chapter, 7th mantra. So we'll now go to 104. Atra pikalaha yante, atra pikalaha yante, vadina swasva yuktibihi, vadina swasva yuktibihi, vakyānyapi yatha pragyam, vakyānyapi yatha pragyam, dhārjayoda yodaharantihi, dhārjayodaharantihi. Together. Atra pikalahayamte vadina swasva yuktibihi vakyānyapi yatha pragyam dhārja yodaharantihi. So here is making a general statement, the Vidyaranya Swami. Atra means there means with respect to Ishvara also, api also, Vadinaha, different philosophical philosophers and different philosophical positions and doctrines. So Swayuktibihi, as per their own yukti, therefore their own logic, using their own logic, they justify their opinions. And kalahayante, and argue with others who have different justification for their, on the basis of their logic. So your logic is wrong, my logic is right. Is any other religion says your God is false God, my God is true God. So if there is a false God and true God and fight on that basis, that is essentially the madness only. So kalahayamte, they quarrel unnecessarily. Quarrel means unnecessarily quarrel without understanding by arguing that on that basis. So swayukti, based on their own concocted logic. Vakyanyapi yadha pragyam dharja yoda udaharanti. He indeed, then Vakyanyapi, Vakya means the scriptural statement, Yadha Pragyam, depending upon their intelligence, Dharjaya Udaharanti. So, for their support, Dharjaya means for their support of their doctrine, they quote selective slokas from some Upanishad and justify their doctrine, and then fight with others who are also quoting the same scriptures but different statements in a different Upanishad, and then again argue. So it's essentially, this is kalahayanti. So this is an argument which is using their own concocted logic. That's what the Vidyaranya Swami says as a general statement. Okay, now 105. Klesha karma vipakaistad. Klesha karma vipakaistad. Ashayairyapya samyutaha. Ashayairyapya samyutaha. Pum viseshe bhavadeshaha. Pum viseshe bhavadeshaha. Jivavatsopya sangachit. Jivavatsopya sangachit. Together. Klesha karma vipakaistad. Ashayairyapya samyutaha. Pum viseshe bhavat ishaha. Jivavat sopya sangachit. So klesha karma vipakaihi. So tad ashayaihi. So abhi asangaha. So he says the Ishvara is essentially continuing the Patanjali Yoga's statement about Ishvara. In between he interjected that people argue on their own theories. Then he is going back to the statement of the Yogas, how they define Ishvara. So Ishvara is a conscious entity and is close to, associated with the Prakriti. Prakriti has Trigunatmikam and is the control of both Prakriti and the Jivas that are created. That was the statement previously. Now he goes into what happens when he is creating based on the karma. So where is the karma? Karma goes back into the Ishvara when pralayam occurs, and layam is when you go to sleep. Pralayam is when Lord goes to sleep, and the whole thing goes back into the Lord. And what happens? That means he is getting impurities of all the people's karma. I have my own sins, your own sins, and Lord must be completely total sins because he is collecting everything else. So in order to avoid Lord with problems, says kleshaha. So all the miseries that are classified according to the yoga, they are supposed to be 5 miseries or something. And karma, there are the 3 karmas, and it can be sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, agami karma. Those are 3 karmas, and yoga may have their own 3 karmas. And vipakaihi, and the fruits of those actions also. So karma and the fruits of the actions, and tad ashayaihi, and the impressions of those api also asamyutaha. So he is not associated with it. So Krishna also makes some statement, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina mastani sarva bhutani nachaham teshu avastitaha. I am not affected by there, or I pervade this entire universe in unmanifested form. So and mastani sarva bhutani, all beings rise in me, yet I am not affected by their karmas. And the same statement yogas also say that pum viseshe bhavat ishaha. So this is a visesha purushaha. Pum means the purushaha. He is viseshe. He is a special variety because he is the controller of everything. So it is purushottamaha. That's what a Purushottama Yoga also chapter is there in Bhagavad Gita. Bhavet ishaha. Ishvara is a supreme intellect, supreme creator, and is unaffected by all the karmas of all the jivas that are coming out from him. And jivavatus saha api asangachit. And here he is making a statement. So just as the jiva is unaffected, asanga, not unaffected, unassociated with the karmas and all that, and the pure chit, conscious entity. So consciousness of the jiva as a conscious entity, jiva is also not affected. Ishvara is chit also is not affected. Then who is affected? The affected is jiva, while identifying himself with the Prakriti as I am this. So this is Prakriti and I am is making that identity equation, which is invalid equation, because he doesn't know who he is. So ignorance is a problem, therefore delusion becomes a problem, therefore he gets affected by the karmas, klesha and karmas and all that. But he actually is, because if it is in nature and he is going to be affected, then he will never be free. Since the karmas belong to only Prakriti, he can get rid of it by de-identification. How do you de-identify? By identifying with who he is. By understanding who he is, you can drop the wrong notions, and that's what his self-realization is also. But I don't know whether the yoga believes in that, because yoga believe that there are multiple jivas, unlike the Advaita. We'll do 106. Tada pipum viseshatvad, tada pipum viseshatvad, ghatatesya niyandruta, ghatatesya niyandruta, avyavasthaihi bandha mokshau, avyavasthaihi bandha mokshau, apateta mihanyata, apateta mihanyata. Together. Tata pipum viseshatva ghatatvesya niyandruta avasya avyavasthai bandha mokshau apateta vinanyatha. So tatapi, even though he is unattached, Ishvara, because pum viseshatva, this pum, visesha pum, that means this special, the highly qualified being other than different from the nature, this special, the Purusha, this is Purushottama, Visheshatvad, because of his special quality also. So Asya of the Ishwarasya, Niyandruta being a controller, and Gatate, and it's possible without getting affected, he can control the things, and that's possible because he is Vishesha Purushaha. So that is Visheshatvam, because he is unaffected, he is not deluded, but he can deal with the people who are deluded, and he is pervading them also, but unaffected. So where is the Lord? Lord is in you also, but he is not affected by Atma. Whereas your Atma gets affected, but Lord is not affected. So that's what essentially implication here. Why? Because he is a Visheshaha. He says that is his nature of Ishvara by definition. Therefore, it is the The asya means here Ishwarasya niyantruta, being a controller, gatate is possible without getting affected by the prakriti and the karma and the kleshas, etc. And anyada, otherwise, iha bandha moksha avyavasthaihi, there will be problem. If you associate Ishvara also with the problem, then God also is having a problem, I am having a problem, then where is the moksha? If there is no liberation for God even, then we have problem. So bandha moksha, the liberation and moksha, avyavasthaihi, there will be confusion and chaos, and apatitam, we will have that kind of problem. So we have to excuse and exempt Lord from all these problems. So he is a Visesha Purusha, Purushottamaha, therefore he is not affected. But Jiva is also not affected, but because of the confusion he gets affected. It's like, a simple example I give is that a villager, he was going first time in the train and he has packed and a big luggage he is taking, and he came to the train came and he went and he saw a lot of people carrying their luggages and all that. In olden days they used to carry everything, big for the bed and all that we used to carry around. So when he entered the train, and he felt sorry for the train because it has to carry all that luggage. So to help the train, he put the luggage on his head and sat in the train. Says he thought he is helping the train. Train has to carry him, his head and the luggage also, but it is the same way a Jiva carries the burden of the karma on his head and suffers the consequence of that. Just drop it. And the dropping is de-associating yourself by your identification with the Prakriti. Stand apart and watch the tamasha. That's what is a jnani is. Anyway, that's going ahead before. So in support, if you don't excuse the Lord with that he also has all the karmas and all, we run into problem. Why he is justifying it? Because the other guy puts Lord also having the same problem also. And that is going to take up the Tarkikas later. So he provides a scriptural support is there. Where is the scriptural support? It says he is selectively quoting some scriptures here. Bhishasmadicheva madau Bhishmasmadicheva madau Asangasya paratmanah Asangasya paratmanah Shrutim tadyuktamapyupsya Shrutim tadyuktamapyasya Klesha karma jasangamat Klesha karma jasangamat Asangamat Karmadi asangamat. So Klesha karma jasangamat. So together Bhishasmadicheva madau Asangasya paratmanah Shrutim tadyuktamapyasya Klesha karma jasangamat. So Bhishmasmad iti evam ado asangasya paratmanah. So by the mere presence, everything in the universe happens, and it is ordered in this manner because the fear of Ishvara also. So there is a Bhisha asmad iti evam ado. So in support of it is taking that scripture says that being unaffected by Asanga Paramatma, being unaffected by that, at the same time, under his control, the Prakriti projects. This is also stated in the Kathopanishad, where Lord Ishvara and all the phenomenal lords, that is, we have several gods, the Vayudeva and all that, etc., Agni Deva, Vayudeva and all that, and Varuna Deva. So every Bhautika as a god, presiding god on that, and they have to follow their rules because of the fear of the Ishvara. So that's why they say that they have to follow their dharmas. So Agni has to burn whatever is put in that. So that is his dharma. Who says that? That is Lord's. Lord make sure he does that. So that is his dharma. implies that it is a pictorially represented that they are afraid of the Ishvara and they follow because he is a controller. Shruti says so, the Kathopanishad says so. Shrutim tad yuktam. So Shruti eva says this statement Shruti also, Api also, Asya Ishvarasya Klesha Karmadi Asangamad. So he does not have any klesha, any suffering, any of that, or duties and everything else are there. That's what I said. Krishna also makes a statement, says the Mastani Sarva Bhutani, and there I am not affected by their activities at all. They are raising in me, but then they go back into me and all their problems come to me also. But no, I am Asangaha, and Krishna made declaration there, and this is what the scriptural statement also says. That we stop here and continue afterwards. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Visishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.